Oh, here we are, coming in.
Oh, lovely.
So this is where we do the singing. This is the booth.
Oh, it's really lovely. Every time you say goodbye. I think I'm really happy with that.
Bluebell Notes podcast is brought to you courtesy of Long Way Home Productions, the friendly home of recording in Sussex. At your place or ours, together we'll make your music really shine.
It's such a familiar tune to me now. I always want to sing along to it. Good morning.
Hiya.
Good day to you. And you.
And you. I'd like to stay.
Oh, no,
and
don't
taste
go
my
all
first
Sound of
champagne.
Music on us. I mean, you're the worst Julie Andrews tribute I've ever seen in my life, if you don't mind me saying so.
How many Julie Andrews tributes have you seen in your life?
Well, you're the first.
Well,
and you're the worst.
So I'm obviously
Yes.
also the best.
Forever the worst.
by that definition, yes.
I'm not a fan of musicals. Love Sound of Music. Love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm with you on Chitty Chitty. And what about Mary Poppins?
Yeah, okay, less so, but yeah,
What do
Mary
you mean
Poppins.
less so?
No,
Really?
it's more about the dancing in Mary Poppins for me. The step in time up on the roof. Oh, it's a phenomenal. Well, a bit like in
It's the
Chitty.
same songwriter, so it's
It is indeed as Chitty Chitty
what's their
Bang Bang.
brothers?
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't
Broccoli?
we discussed this before?
Broccoli Brothers.
Are you thinking of James Bond?
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'm thinking
you
of James
are, but
Bond.
there is a James Bond link,
There's
isn't
a-
it? Because
there's a
Ian
broccoli.
Fleming wrote Chitty
There is,
Chitty
yeah.
Bang Bang, didn't he? So-
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There we go.
What's this podcast again about?
Yeah, it's all, welcome to songs from the shows. Yeah, welcome to Bluebell Notes episode 13. I'm lucky for some. My name's Neil Povey. I'm a DJ, I'm a broadcaster, and an idiot.
I'm Josie. I'm half of Milton Hyde.
I thought you were Joe. Sorry.
I'm Joe, yeah. Amongst other things.
Yeah, we're going to stick. We need to stick to what we said we would say. But
Yeah.
okay, that's all right. No,
I'm
it's all right.
gonna
No,
say
it's fine.
Josie.
Yeah, Josie's fine.
Okay,
You Josie here.
Yeah, that's
Joe
right.
professionally.
Okay, I'm Jim Tippler, and I'm the other half of Milton Hyde.
Yeah, and you are other things as well, of course. You're not just your
Yes.
music, but that's kind of the capacity that we present this show in.
Yes, but we're also promoters of Bluebell Roots, of course,
Yes. Sometimes
All
it's
of us.
easy to, all three of us, we put on a live show.
And the Roots list.
and the Roots list.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, the Roots list.
Yeah.
Now it's a new
Perhaps
thing.
we'll mention that
we
later.
should actually. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to put that in my list anyway.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
.co.uk.
Anyway, welcome to episode 13. We're going to be talking today about touring. A bit, and again, we will frame this all in the context of its kind of roots music-based, folk, acoustic music, that kind of thing, and at very much a grassroots level.
Yeah, and it's all from our sort
experience.
This is a very narrow experience, really, apart from the people that we've chatted to in
Yeah.
our dealings.
Yes.
Yeah.
We meet a lot of musicians, mainly through Bluebell Roots. That's what's the connection with this Bluebell Notes podcast. We have a lot of guests, so we chat to them about specific things.
Indeed, yeah, and that's the idea, is to kind of get a bit of a wider look at it than we actually have of ourselves,
Yes.
and then also spread the word about go and see live gigs, go and support live musicians.
Absolutely.
Let's just get right on with it. I'm going to press one of these buttons here.
Can you warn us next time it's going to be the banjo one? 'Cause
Oh,
it's a
sorry.
bit sort of sudden.
Oh, did you want to? Do you need to take a pill or something beforehand? What's your banjo?
I know,
Good
it's me
Lord.
playing the blooming thing.
What do you do? Put on a blindfold and earplugs and then just like rock at it. I don't know
You
what's
leave-
coming out.
You leave the room while you're playing it.
That's what most banjo
We got
players do.
we got new stings as well. Listen, hang on. Hey, see, that's the Joe one.
Bit easier on the ear.
It is a lot easier. Oh, we could have this. That's rather lovely, isn't it? Is that the Uncle Jim one or the Saving the Whale one? I can't remember where that's from.
Saving the whale. Do you not know any
Saving
of
the
that?
Whale, Riding the Whale. Sorry.
Now that's a very specific one too, Bluebell
Oh, is it
Notes,
that
yes,
one?
yeah.
Oh, well, and we'll save the question of the show one for later as well. So, yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of me. I should perhaps do one. Come up with one
definitely.
rather than right,
Oh,
just
we can
yeah.
invite people to send them in, can't
That's a
we?
nice idea.
Send us in a stab.
Make us a little.
Is it a
make
stab
us
or no? It's a sting.
A sting, and
A sting,
yeah, a sting. Well, maybe we get Sting to do one
Oh, a sting.
on his
I wonder if we
lute.
could afford him.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it. So well, and perhaps people to say you're listening to Bluebell Notes with
Yeah, that's a good idea.
we should do that anyway. Right, so we talk about touring. Touring in the sense of taking your music out on the road and getting it out there to people to listen to, and hopefully in some cases pay some money to do so. You've been doing this. I mean, I'm going to start from your experience and then we're going to move out, if you like. You've been doing this for 10 years?
Nearly.
Is it really?
Next year's our 10th anniversary.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, and I suppose to start with, it probably wasn't, you wouldn't have thought of it as touring. You would have thought of it as playing local events and so on. But
Yeah.
you do now. You disappear off up country places.
Yeah, well,
you
you
go
try and
around.
put gigs together to
Yeah.
make it cost effective. Basically, that's because you don't at our level it's you can barely make a living from a gig.
Yeah.
So in order to cover your costs, you need to put 2 or 3 together and hope that 1 or 2 people are nice and put you up and
Yeah.
that, or pay for your accommodation as well and your living expenses.
When would you say the first time was that you did actually what you would consider a tour or a mini tour with several while you were away at once? Was it when you went to America?
No, we didn't.
We weren't actually playing at that point.
No.
That's just before we started
Was
playing.
it?
Yeah.
I thought you did some gigs while you were out there. Because
No.
you certainly
No.
wrote a lot of songs, didn't
yeah,
you?
We wrote songs and
Well, Jim did. I wasn't
We
writing
played.
at that point.
I think we played a couple of open mics.
Yeah.
And sort of sessions. We didn't do any. No,
No,
I think the
I
first.
wasn't playing them.
Right. No, our first probably tour would have been something down like going to Wales. We did Fishguard Folk Festival
Okay.
a few years ago, and then we managed to tie in a couple of gigs because Fishguard's a blooming long way from East
Yeah.
Sussex.
Is it the
It
most
is.
westerly point?
No, we went
Not
there, didn't we,
quite.
the other week? But that's Land's
That would
End.
be Land's End, yeah.
But it's the most westerly
right.
point of Wales.
Yeah, sure.
That's for sure, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
So we've done there and the most southerly point, haven't we? Lizard Point. Mm-hmm. And a
Which are
couple of
probably
weekends.
not that far apart.
No, a couple of
I
weeks ago
imagine.
we did the most easterly point as well. We were
No.
playing in Lowestoft.
Wow.
So yeah, we want to do.
You need to get to Orkney, don't you? Or
Yeah, we
Shetland?
need to do.
No, mainland.
North.
Oh, mainland.
Britain,
Okay,
of
which
course.
is John O'Groats somewhere up that way.
It's
not
not,
actually
no, I
John
can't
O'Groats,
remember what
probably
it's-
is.
I
something
looked it
point
up.
or something head, isn't it?
No, it's not down his head. That's in Wales.
I'm just going to get a map up and we'll carry on
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
and I'll have a look on a map in a minute.
But yeah, that I think probably, and that would have been about probably just pre-COVID actually.
Right, okay, so...
probably 2004.
So about
no, yeah,
about
2004,
5 years.
No,
2021, 22?
2019.
Oh, okay, just
Yeah, 2019
which
was
is
just
just
before.
pre-COVID, yeah.
So that made sense eventually.
Dunnet Head, does that ring a bell? There's an
Yes.
RSPB
Yes,
reserve there. And
that's
yeah,
it.
that's right. That's why I was getting confused with Dinas Head, which we went to in Wales.
Okay,
So,
and
yeah.
then there is an island just
But
off
we haven't
of
been there yet,
John
so it's
O'Groats.
sort of academic.
Yeah,
Well,
but we aim to get up there.
I tell you what, if you do aim to go there and you're going to have a trip, I would like to be shoved in the boot to come along with
there
you
puffins?
because, one, I imagine there are puffins because it's not far
Yeah.
to Stroma,
Right.
which is a little island off the north coast of just
There'll be
above John
seals.
O'Groats. There'll be an awful lot of wildlife. There'll be killer whales and things like that as well. But there is an RSPB reserve at Dunnet Head, so probably and a lighthouse. I love a lighthouse.
Ideally, what we want is an audience, though, if we're going
Well,
to go and play a gig.
that's a good
that
point.
would be nice.
Yeah, it's a good
A
point.
human audience would be quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
bonus.
doesn't look like there's any kind of town there. I mean, there's a few roads and a couple of cottages.
I mean, I've seen
but,
trained seals clap, but I'm not sure wild grey seals would. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe at the did you say it's a
RSPB.
yeah? Maybe they'd like a fundraising
Maybe.
gig at
Oh, that's
their,
not a
at
bad
their place
idea.
there.
Yeah.
So,
There's a beautiful sandy beach,
put it
Dunnet
to them.
Beach. Well, there you go. So that's the fourth on your four corners of the UK at least. So that's
Yeah.
that plan.
It is the thought though that we did have actually.
That
Having
would-
done
yeah,
those 3
the news
points.
the news tour.
Is it
Yeah.
like now that you
We
can't
could do.
climb hills because you're so old, you have to do flat stuff that's on the coast?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Walk along the beach.
Well, look, anyway, that's not a tour you'd probably want to organise because it's so four places so flipping far apart.
Yeah, we've got next year we've got a Scottish tour, so we'll probably try and tie that in with it.
Sounds good.
But yeah, we've managed to get. I think we've got about half a dozen gigs in the northeast of England. And
yes, you've got one en route to Scotland, and I think one on the route back, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get another couple in the Midlands on the way up
So that's
and way
what
back.
that's what we try and do. And a lot of people, of course, will have booking agents.
I was going to say, because you
tours.
do this yourselves, don't you?
Yeah.
But there are other people who, like you say, work with an agent or a tour manager who might even drive them around to places, depending on what kind of level you're at in this game, I suppose.
Yeah, and also what you want to do and how you want to play it, because you might want to be totally in control of, you might have built up personal relationships with promoters and so on that you don't need to involve agents. And that
maximises the benefit to you if you are trying to earn a living from it, I suppose, as well, because you're cutting out one part of what you might otherwise have to pay out for, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not to suggest that those people aren't worth paying for, because it's all about the different levels that you're at, isn't it?
Well,
because it
right.
might be that you might need that if you've got a good number of dates and you might be playing 3 or 4 a week. Then it might be that you might need somebody like that.
Yeah, they would have contacts to get you those gigs in sort of in between places, wouldn't they?
Well, that's what happens with Bluebell Roots very often. We get we've had some sort of really top acts who have had a spare night effectively, and the agent and they've had agents and said. And ordinarily, we wouldn't have been able to afford them necessarily, especially with the agent's commission and so on. But they just want to fill a night. So they've approached us and said, look, so and so is going to be in X on this date and Y on this date, and they've got like a couple of days to fill. Would you like to host them for the evening?
And we did an episode, didn't we? We did an episode on house concerts a while back. Did we do a whole episode on that, or we just mention it at some point?
I think it just came up.
And that's another thing that people do en route on a tour, isn't it? I know certainly when I first started understanding a bit more about how artists tour and so on, that some of the artists that I was then friends with on Facebook would advertise, say, I'm going to be in so on looking for a house concert, and do you fancy a house concert? And it's just a little thing you can do in between 2 bigger gigs, perhaps.
Yeah, and a lot of the time house concerts and events like our one, people provide accommodation.
Yeah.
So if you're on tour, you then haven't got to find accommodation for that night. That's covered, and you've got the bonus of playing a gig and possibly selling some merch and
Bluebell
making a little bit on the
Bluebell
side.
Roots almost started out as that kind of gig, not necessarily in your house in a kitchen, somebody else's kitchen, as it turned out, but that's sort of, and the idea was it was that kind of vibe, wasn't it? Essentially, at that point, it was a kind of house concerty sort of vibe. So, okay, so and if you're aiming to do a tour, presumably you want to work out. I mean, do you literally sit down and do the finances for it? Do you would you or Jim, Josie, would you sit down and go, right, we're gonna spend this much on fuel, this is what our accommodation is going to cost, this is how much we need to earn from each gig?
I think we start up. I think actually before you start talking about that, I think probably we need to ask why you do it,
right?
Because people have tour for different reasons.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that then.
Because that would be a good place to start. Because that those finances, you have to factor those in accordingly.
Yeah.
Because you might be doing a promotional tour, just to promote, to promote an album or a release or something. In which case, your funding might be different.
Right.
You might be doing, perhaps an arts council or different organisation funded project or tour, in which case again, that those expenses and so on and finances are structured differently.
Okay.
So before you do that, you need to ask yourself why. And we tour because we're essentially a married couple. I'd say we were semi-professional.
Yeah.
So we make money from it.
Yeah.
But we don't yet make a living from it.
No, it's not your entire living.
So we're in the luxurious situation where we can view it as kind of a subsidised trip.
Right.
to another part of the country.
Okay.
Right. That said, for some gigs we get paid very well.
Yeah.
And for others, not so much.
Yeah, sure.
But we could pick and we're lucky in that we can pick and choose which ones we want to do and why, and then we ask ourselves, why do we want to do it?
Right.
But other artists will be doing it for different reasons. So
Right.
Clearly there are other artists out there who need to make a living from it, and they would then look at financing the whole tour and seeing what money they're going to be making from it.
Yeah. And
so,
that might be, though, A, as part of their normal, this is what we need to do to earn a living, but B, in terms of promoting an album as well or something like that.
Yeah.
Although that seems, again, I don't have the authority to speak about this, but that seems to be less a reason for touring now than it ever used to be.
I think it cuts both ways, because if you're promoting an album or an EP or whatever, single release, you can use the publicity that you've already generated for that album or that release to publicise your tour.
Right.
And it could, and the other way round.
So you're touring that album.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
touring
As it
that
were.
album.
Yeah.
And it's all about increasing your visibility as well and your hearability.
Just being, getting known.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The more you get out and other places are publicising the fact that you are coming to them.
Yeah.
And then you can get sort of reviews of your gigs as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
All of that helps. And anything feeds into...
And of course,
your-
and also thereby, increasing a mailing list.
Yeah.
You can get people to add their emails directly into your database or
Yeah.
whatever. So you can build up a proper, people who have come to see you. They're much better. They're
Yeah.
a much better prospect than someone who's come across you on Facebook
Sure.
or wherever on social media, aren't
Yeah.
they?
And they're more likely to come back to see you if you go back to that same
or tell you,
or similar
or tell their
nearby
mates
venue.
about the act that they saw.
And also, I guess, the fact that if you then are sharing on your social media that you've played here, you're playing there, you're doing this, that, and the other, it builds an image of you as an artist,
Yeah.
as being in demand to play in those areas, if you like. I'm not suggesting that's kind of any kind of subterfuge, but it does make you look... like essentially what you are, a touring artist, as it were.
Yeah.
In that
We
sense.
often get people say, "Oh, you're really busy at the moment, aren't you? Touring all over the place."
Yeah,
and
yeah. Because
There's-
that's the impression that's got from the fact that you are doing it. And I suppose that makes sense.
And if you
even though
have-
it might not be like Taylor Swift, who's done 1 million dates in 6 weeks or
Yeah.
whatever, it's not that kind of intense. It still is, nevertheless, in terms of a grassroots level, it's, it's...
We'll only have probably 5 or 6 gigs in a year.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
a year, in a week.
In a week.
We'll probably only have
I'd hope
5
you'd
or
have more than that.
5 or 6 gigs in a month.
Right,
And
yeah.
that looks busy when you
Yeah.
list them down and say, this month we're playing blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And on a post on Blue Sky, that fills a post
Well,
and it looks really impressive.
A very good and relevant current example is that we've got Chris Cleverley coming in November to Bluebell Roots, and we're listed on his list of tour dates.
Yes.
And it doesn't say Bluebell Roots, it says Arlington Hall or whatever, but then you look down his list. You don't look at what the gap is between the dates, do
No.
you? You just see that that's a long list of places to play. So
Yeah.
that's a very important
And when you
way
see
of
a
presenting it.
variety that people are willing to travel,
Yeah.
then you're going to get approached by somewhere as well.
I think so, yeah. And I think probably it helps when you're perhaps talking to promoters that you haven't worked with before and say,
Yeah.
well, look, here's what we've done, here's who we've worked with,
Yeah.
and this is where we're going to be and when and so
Yeah.
on. So
Another thing to mention is PRS. Every time you play somewhere, if
Mm-hmm.
you are registered with PRS, the Performing Rights Society,
And the venue is registered.
and if the venue is licensed by PRS,
which it should be.
yes, then you get a payment every time you play your own music.
Ah, okay,
so
right.
as long as you register what you've played where,
Yep.
and that place is licensed, you then get
You get your
payment
risiduals
payment from
and a little
PRS.
check that comes up. Is it rude to ask kind of what kind of figure that is? Does it vary from artist to artist?
Oh yeah, it varies massively.
And how is...
I don't know
I'm
how
going to say
it's
we need to talk to
calculated,
PRS to
really.
work it out the calculator.
But we've just had a nice juicy one come in because we had there were a lot from the last 2 years that hadn't actually, they were still in processing, that hadn't been
Wow.
paid out. And then suddenly we had an email from them saying, we need you to provide proof that you paid these gigs. It's just a spot check they do every now and then.
Sure.
And they said, until you've provided that proof, we're not going to pay out
you.
any future ones.
Okay.
So I had to go back through, and that was really good, actually, wasn't it? A good exercise in going back and finding the contact emails you had, finding the posters advertising the event, finding the social media posts. Had to screenshot everything, send them off, and then we got this lovely juicy payout.
And do you have to say, okay, we played for an hour, or
No,
we did 10 songs, or something like that?
You list every song that you sung.
Literally each song.
Yeah, you register. You have to make sure all the songs are registered first of all,
okay.
and you say how long. And in that you say how long the song lasts.
I mean, here's an episode in itself, isn't it? But
yeah,
it would be a
it
very
is,
technical one. But
It's to do with the length of the song.
Yeah.
And also the frequency that it's played, because PRS covers all sorts of other things as well.
see,
So
because you're
if
online
it gets played at a disco,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
instance,
yeah.
we have actually had a couple of our songs that have been played at a disco.
Now, this-
I don't know what.
This is an interesting thing because obviously I play discos, I DJ for a living, but I'm not required to submit a list of songs that I have played because the venue has a PRS license. It's not me that has the PRS license, and it's a PRS license for entertainment and so on. But you do not have to list the songs in that situation. And even actually as community radio, that I also do as a broadcaster, we don't have to submit literally artist title. We just say how long we are broadcasting, how many listeners we have. It's a different model. So it's very interesting. While we're on income, actually, and before we hear from April Moon, actually, because we had a good chat to April Moon, who are very much a touring band, I thought I'd bring this up. I don't know if you heard this, that the Irish government has approved a basic income scheme.
I saw that,
Did you see this, Jim?
No.
Okay, so Ireland's government, this is direct from NME.com, but it's on loads of news websites. Heard it on the radio the other day. Ireland's government has approved plans to permanently implement a basic income scheme for over 2,000 creative workers and musicians in 2026. It was piloted in 2022. It was called Basic Income for the Arts. I'm guessing it was possibly a post-COVID sort of thing, but it will now become permanent under the 2026 budget. Secured by the Minister for Culture, Patrick O'Donovan. This scheme is the envy of the world, he said in a recent press release, a tremendous achievement for Ireland and must be made future-proof and sustainable. He stressed the importance of keeping the arts sector resilient, sustainable, forward-reaching and accessible. It says, though, I'm just going to quickly find the highlights. Here we go. Those eligible for the new scheme will be able to apply from September next year, with participants in the permanent scheme set to receive €325 per week. With payments made monthly. Initially planned to accommodate artists and creatives, it said 2,000 of them has reported that the scheme could go on to spot another 200 should additional funds become available. That's quite astonishing. I mean, it does say this bleak reality, it says, facing countless artists at the moment, particularly those in the UK, given the Musicians' Union revealed earlier this year that almost half of all working musicians in the UK earn less than £14,000 a year, which is way below your average income, obviously. So that's a fascinating
interesting,
development,
isn't it? Yeah.
And I wonder, it's Ireland. It's not part of the UK. It's not Northern Ireland. It's the Republic of Ireland. Whether there might be something. We get Lisa and Andy looking at it.
I'll go apply for my Irish passport.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, but I mean,
for more than one reason, perhaps.
It's an interesting scheme, isn't it? There are €325 a week, and I wonder whether what effect that would have. It'd be interesting.
3,000 creatives is not
2,000
creatives.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, absolutely,
it's not a massive number.
Creatives and musicians, and presumably it might be something you have to apply for. I don't know, but it's not.
But really, really interesting, and
it's not
amazing.
a universal basic income. Let's put it that way with those 2,000. So, very interesting. I wonder how that might sort of pan out, and whether it might be something that happens over here.
Going back to touring, can I just mention we've had been exchanging emails with Bruce Watson, haven't we?
Yeah.
From Australia. And he's been to us before, and he comes over and does a proper tour of England. And he's exchanged some emails asking for suggestions of venues that he could play. So he's been trying to plan a tour coming over July to September. So he's been trying to work out when he could come and play for us, and then contacting festivals that are on during that period. And he has to work out what gigs he can get when before he can actually plan his trip.
Right.
And before he knows how much he's going to be earning.
So, right, yeah.
So it's
got to be done in hyper detail, I imagine.
It's really a really complicated thing to work out.
I mean,
isn't it?
just to get here is costing him a good number of gigs, just to fly here. I mean, okay, you might be able to say, okay, I can plan visits to family and so on while I'm here, but it's not necessarily about that.
No, he Bruce, for instance, it's more about getting out and performing and spreading his music. He's an amazing performer, isn't he? He's a fantastic performer. But yeah, it's definitely more about, what are you doing?
You got something on your face.
I had my finger,
Hang on.
on my face.
Have we
then.
suddenly entered an episode of The Traitors here?
What happened there?
You're going to find out that Jim's
spider.
been murdered in the morning. I don't know if you've been watching The Traitors.
No.
That's what Alan Carr had to do to Paloma Faith, and
really?
he had to touch her face with his hands after he touched this poison lily or something.
Oh, okay.
And that
No,
was
he-
his way of murdering her in plain sight.
He had a spider climbing towards his
Sorry
eye.
if that's a spoiler for anybody, but it was
I
last
think
week.
yeah,
so-
this is right, yeah.
That took a very dark turn all of a sudden.
Well,
Sorry, I wasn't murdering you. I was removing a spider from your
and
eye.
your songs aren't dark. Anyway, but so back to Bruce. Sorry.
Bruce is an amazing performer, and he's more about wanting to perform and spread his music around.
Sure.
So I don't. I mean, I can't speak for him, but I can't see that he would get the fun, the money back.
Yeah.
I suspect it's
especially
more about
coming this way.
subsidising a
Yeah.
trip.
I would have thought, because actually
Yeah.
exchange rate wise, pound is
and you're
quite
right
strong
in
against
that
the
he has
Australian dollar.
got family here
Yeah.
and
Right.
in Europe,
Yeah.
so he uses it as a subsidised trip, no
Right.
doubt.
We've been offered a short tour in Canada.
Have you?
By some friends over there, the Red Dirt Skinners. Said they could find us some gigs
Yeah.
and then suggest others. And they reckon we would definitely cover our
Your
travel
costs.
and our time out there and come back with a profit.
Wow. I mean, Canada.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's hardly any places in Canada, and
There's
they're all a
there
long,
would
long
be-
way apart.
There would be a lot of travelling involved,
Yeah.
and not least of it flying over
Some
there,
of it
which-
flying, and
Yeah.
that's not your favourite thing to do, is it? No?
Definitely not.
No,
And,
a lot of gin would have to be consumed. Josie's on the wagon.
I ain't going on no plane,
Yeah.
fool. It's good.
yes, you
So with
definitely have to knock me
apologies
out.
for that dreadful impersonation.
Who was that an impersonation of?
Mr. T.
B.A.
Mr. T,
Baracus,
yes.
in the A-Team. All right, should we hear from somebody who does tour a lot?
Yes,
And
let's
who
do that.
is
Let's do that.
Canadian?
Yes.
Actually,
Funny enough.
it's almost like we planned it, isn't it? We spoke to April Moon at our gig in August, wasn't it?
April Moon, Jaime April, and Jason Moon.
Okay, and I'll play some music before this, because otherwise it's my voice starting immediately, and it kind of comes in part way through the interview because it's just talking about the touring part. Yeah, but you live your life on the road, don't you, really, at the moment?
We do, yeah. We've been full-time camper van people for 2 years. And before that, we were country hopping quite a bit and living in different cities all the time. So we've been on the road, I believe, for over a decade now.
Wow. Oh, that's pretty amazing.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, Jason calls it the
Fantastic.
tour that never ends.
Is it what you imagined you would be doing, or is it exceeding what you would hoped for in your lives?
Well, for me, I've always been a professional musician since I was a teenager. It's just the way I've always done things.
Yeah.
But living in a camper van is taking it to a different level, for me anyway. And I wasn't sure how I would feel about it. When we bought the camper, we weren't intending to be full-time. Mm-hmm. We thought, this will be nice. We'll go to do a few gigs, then come back. At the time, we were living in Liverpool. And we'll come back. But after 1 month, we gave up the flat and decided to stay in it because we just loved it. And we still do.
We're full-time in it while we're in the UK and Europe. But we do have breaks of a couple months at a time where we're not in it. And I think that
Okay.
makes it so that we're really excited to still be band people without
So-
knowing that you're going to have a break at some time and have a real kitchen to cook in for a
Right.
couple months. And
So is that over
Yeah.
winter time you do that?
over the winter, we spend
Yeah.
3 months away, somewhere warmer. And then
Yeah.
we also usually do about a month or 2 in Canada.
Where do you feel your roots are now? Do you actually have roots, or do you feel completely free?
Well, we've actually been talking about this recently because I realized that I've spent longer living abroad as an adult than I ever did as an adult in Canada, even though we both grew up there. I love going back. My family's there, and there's still this pull that when we get back and I walk into the woods and I hear the familiar sound of the birds that I know and the smell of the woods that I know, there's something that just gets me. And yet I can't see myself necessarily living there at any time in the future. And we've been in England so long, and I just feel so comfortable here. I wouldn't say I feel free. I feel almost tied to too many spots that it feels like a bit of a tug of war sometimes.
It's quite nice because I suppose it feels like, in a sense, the whole place is your home.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And you've just done a recent tour in Europe, haven't you?
Yeah.
Belgium and Germany.
And Netherlands.
And a
And the
bit in the
Netherlands.
Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah, and that went well.
It went really well. Yeah, it was our first time over. It's a very different music scene over there. People just appreciate live music so much. And we do sometimes play more covers or more originals, depending on the
sure.
night. And they just really loved all the original stuff, which was
Yeah,
a
Jason was
lovely
telling
thing.
me about that last night. There was you found the original gigs were you preferred them to the covers gigs.
They
Yeah.
were, we
got a
they
better
were, they were more
reception?
lucrative. We made
Yeah.
more money at them, and we also the crowds were great. We did one gig that was a cover gig because we thought, well, we're doing some gigs that we may or may not make money.
Yeah.
Let's book one in there,
Yeah.
in Germany that is actually in Netherlands, in Amsterdam. Let's book one gig that's actually a moneymaker, you know.
Yeah.
So we arranged it and set the fee, and we go and do the gig. The gig went fine, you know.
Yeah.
But it was mostly tourists, and
Yeah.
it was
Alright.
it was okay, but it was like definitely the least satisfying
Yeah.
gig of all of them, you know.
Yeah.
Do you find that generally that you find your originals gigs tend to be more satisfying?
Well,
yeah.
Personally.
I
Yeah.
suppose so. Although our cover songs, we've adapted them
Yeah.
to be our style. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when we go and play, like we do like a bluegrass version of Radar Love or
Oh,
different
yeah.
songs like that, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
to sort of so that they become April Moon songs.
Yeah.
And even if we get hired to play covers, we do quite a few of our own in there as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes when you're doing a show that is specifically for original music, people come with that expectation that they're going to hear songs they don't know and they're more likely to listen.
I think that's absolutely right. If you find the right audience and an audience has bothered to turn up for a show for music that they don't know, then they're going to be a better audience.
I wanted to ask you, in practical terms, touring in Europe, how does that work? How do you find the gigs, first of all? But then you've got other practical things about where you're going to stay, how you're going to get there.
Right. Well,
obviously you've got visas and stuff like that. You've got to
Everything
look
we
at.
do is very DIY. For us, because we have the camper van, a lot of those concerns were just wiped off the board
Sure.
right away because obviously accommodation is a huge thing for a lot of people. Whereas if you have the camper van, Europe is so friendly for having places that you can just park up for
Sure.
free, that are safe, that have facilities and make you feel quite safe to be traveling around. And also, I find just like the incidentals along the way, like for a lot of touring artists, they have to have in their budget food and the transport of their equipment and all this stuff. Whereas us, we travel with our full PA, we can
it's all
set up
there.
anywhere. You know, we have a cooler, we're eating a lot of meals that are sandwiches and salads in the vans. And so our costs were extremely low for this. So to go in and be able to experiment with some gigs that, like you said, we're not sure if we're making money off of them or not. But for the actual gigs, I am obsessed with screenshotting things on social media. And I've been doing it for years, that anytime I see artists that are doing the types of gigs that we would like to be doing, especially if they're maybe a step or two above where we are right now, and they're posting their gig list, screenshot, I stick it in a folder and I don't necessarily look at it. But then when we're ready to go do something like this, then I've got this huge resource of places that are possibilities to play. And I spent hours and hours and hours putting this together and contacting places because they get so many people wanting to play gigs that they don't even necessarily look at your email.
Of course.
But through it, I was able to arrange a fair few. I think we did a total of 8 gigs over a month. For us, it was a bit of a financial risk going over even with this. And but we just always see it as kind of like an investment in our future that we're laying the groundwork. And I think then we've made contacts now that are very happy for us to come back next year with those
And then
things
you can
booked,
build
and
on
then you
it.
build on it. Yeah.
Difficulties that you came across while you were away, would you say that were
I would say the language barrier. I speak enough French to get by in
and they don't
Belgium.
speak Canadian?
They don't speak Canadian.
Wow.
Canadiana.
They barely eat bacon. I guess the biggest problem was the environmental zones in cities, and especially in Germany, where you are, because our van is a diesel vehicle and it's a bit older. I think it's 15 years old now.
We've often talked about getting the train and public transport to gigs as much as we can. We've done it a bit, but not as much as we'd like to because it's just not affordable.
Not practical.
Can't afford it.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
it depends how
affordable
much
to it.
equipment you have as well.
Yeah.
When
There are some gigs you
possible,
just
we
can't.
will. But most of the time, you by the time you finish a gig, there isn't a train home or a bus home.
Right, yeah.
So-
yeah.
Some of our gigs were in these old, beautiful city centers, you know, that are all huge, big buildings, and there's not really roads you can even drive on.
Sure.
So those gigs, we would park at a park and ride outside the town, jump on a train with our guitars. As long as we don't need our PA, we're okay.
Yeah. That's good.
One of the venues that I work with up in the Northwest, they have this big initiative right now that they're trying to push for artists being able to take public transport to gigs. And they have like a full huge backline that with like a bunch of different amps that you can choose from, so people don't have to travel with amps
brilliant.
on trains.
Brilliant. That's really
A
good.
couple different drum sets, and they're really pushing for a lot of other venues. They've got agreements to try and build networks that artists will be able to do full tours to these venues that are all
I've wondered
set up.
about MU, if why they haven't introduced, negotiated with the rail companies.
I had a reply from them
Right.
that they're going to look into it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should sort of tie this up. But where are you guys off to next?
We've got a little tour of the Isle of Man.
Wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
we're doing
Bunch
with
of
a
venues
girl
out
named
there.
Katie Nicholas. Kind of a shared little tour over there, which is going to be really cool. And then we're
We'll do a month in Canada.
We're going to November this year, so it's going to be snowing.
Our first Canadian winter in 13 years.
Yeah, but we figured if we're going to take a month out of the camper van to go somewhere, that it might as well be some time when it's not super nice here to be in the van. So,
Yeah.
and then
And what's happening in December? You've got a special date lined up of something in December?
Oh, we do. We've got, it hasn't actually been announced yet, but we
Okay.
do have a
So-
very special show coming up in December.
But so, news to come for December then.
Yes.
Yeah, keep
yes,
an eye
yes,
on
to come.
social media. What's the social media, please?
April Moon Band.
Okay.
You search April Moon Band on any platform, anywhere on the internet, you will probably find us.
So website and all the socials.
All of
and
it,
stuff.
yeah.
Jason, Jamie, thanks so much for sticking around and chatting to us.
Oh,
It's been
yes.
really
Well,
lovely.
thank you. It's been really a nice morning to top off a really lovely night last
Yeah,
night.
thank you for playing as well. That
That's
was
great.
super nice night. And have fun on the road.
Thank you. We'll see you again soon.
That was a short one at the end. That was rather lovely, but I thought there was another one of those new ones in there. April Moon, Jason and Jamie chatting about touring here in Canada, in good weather, bad weather, and under whatever conditions that happen to take them.
Yeah, life on the
Interesting
road.
stuff. Definitely
Yeah.
interesting stuff. Check them out. We'll just rewind a bit. Sorry, there was a little gap in the middle of that, which we didn't know was there. Let's say, I don't know, Jason said a rude word, and so we cut it out. Let's pretend that's what it was. He did like to swear, actually, didn't he, Jason? That was a great gig, and we're going to have some music from them. Well, why not? Let's do that now, shall we? Shall we
let's do that.
play
Yeah,
the song from them?
I love this song.
And Jamie explains it, actually, so I don't think we need to do any more other than just play it.
All right. This is my favorite one still to play. Next year, it's going to be 10 years old, which is kind of crazy that I've been writing songs for so long. And this one's about my little sister. who works on a farm back in Canada, and she performs autopsies on cows. And sometimes llamas, but mostly it's just cows. And she's very good at her job. She's only about as big as me. And I tell you what, it takes a lot of muscle and power to crack open a cow's rib cage. And she's developed a whole new technique for it that she now teaches at universities. Anyway, turns out there are no other songs about cow autopsies that we can find. So, you guys heard it here first, I guess. This song is called Bloody Susie.
Hey, little Susie, come around, come around. Mama's in the kitchen, Papa went to town. Get the job done before the frost hits the ground. Hey, little Susie, come around, come around. Hey, little Susie, come around. Hey, little Susie, roll up to the rundown farm in your pickup truck. Oh, Bessie's been the dust, Farmer ain't got no luck. Hey, little Susie, roll up. Hey, little Susie, roll up. Hey, little Susie, come around. Well, hey, little Susie, yeah, we know you get around. Susie, tell us why, lots of meat on her bones, it wasn't time to die. She didn't look sick, but here she lies. Hey, little Susie, tell us why. Hey, little Susie, tell us why. Hey, little Susie, with a knife, cover up the eyes of the farmer's wife. If you do it well, you might save a life. Hey, little Susie, with a knife. Hey, little Susie, with a knife. Susie, baby, what you do with a knife? Yeah, yeah. Hold a heart in your hand, it's got no thud. Let the rain pour down to wash away the blood. Hey, little Susie, in the mud. Hey, little Susie, in the mud. Hey, little Susie, down in the mud. Hey, little Susie, let the rain pour down to wash away the blood. Let it wash away the blood. Let it wash away the blood. Let it wash away the blood. Oh, yeah. Let it wash away the blood. Let it wash away the blood. Let it wash away the blood. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
So on that subject, here's a few words from Phil of Long Way Home Productions, sponsors of Bluebell Notes.
Phil has seen many changes since Hatful of Rain started touring in 2010. They were fortunate enough to have a booking agent back then who was able to secure enough money and accommodation to make it worth their while driving hundreds of miles to gigs.
Things have become pretty difficult for everyone since then. Promoters are often local folk who have corralled a bunch of mates into volunteering, and they can't be expected to be out of pocket.
Like lots of people, Phil has had to devise alternative income streams. He's played with the idea of musical theatre shows to diversify what he does.
But even then, the last show, Idle Women, was too expensive to tour, and therefore his new show, Snow Along the Line, will be just Phil, accompanied by recorded voices and backing tracks.
He'll be looking for help from the National Rural Touring Forum with this. They're a fabulous organisation that coordinate artistic performances in rural venues across the UK, community centres, church halls and the like.
Phil also offers some workshops, songwriting workshops both online and in person, and workshops aimed at hobbyist musicians who want to become more confident on stage.
Necessity, being the mother of invention, has meant that Phil developed skills in producing his own music, and this has led to him producing other people's. Again, these are mostly hobbyist folk who just love what they do. As well as bringing in a bit of cash, it's also hugely rewarding.
So if you'd like to know more about the services provided by Long Way Home Productions, our sponsors of Bluebell Notes, go to longwayhomeproductions.co.uk.
One fabulous tune,
Yeah.
Bloody Susie, April Moon.
Amazing performance.
Amazing performance, really, but went down very well in the room, didn't it? And we had somebody brought the flag along, didn't they?
Yeah, the Saskatchewan flag.
Saskatchewan, which is their home state, and we lit up the room in red and white lights as well. So good.
Yeah, it's really good, really good night, and they were just fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, really well worth seeing. So if they are touring near you, go and see them. Please do go and support local artists. Or not local artists, but artists who are touring. That's specifically what we're talking about today.
In your local area.
In your local area, indeed. I mean, it'll always be local wherever you are, I suppose. But yeah. Also, talking about Snow on the Line there, you mentioned in the little bit about Phil and Long Way Home. You went to see it, didn't you?
We did, yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
It was
last
excellent.
week, was it? Very recently, anyway, at the Rope Tackle Centre in Shoreham, the wonderful Rope Tackle Arts Centre.
Great
yeah,
place.
Actually.
Another
really
great music venue, yeah.
Phil's show was absolutely remarkable, wasn't it?
He was, yeah, and he had a full house, didn't he?
He did, and it was just him, a guitar, some backing narration, some pre-recorded narration, and soundscapes.
Yeah.
And projections, and it was just totally absorbing.
It was, yeah.
I might just go slightly on a tangent here, but it is related. I don't know whether you have noticed this as well, but I know certainly there are lots of, and I'm doing the little bunny ears here, big musicians as opposed to grassroots musicians. So musicians who are getting national radio airplay, for example, who are now starting to do smaller tours in more intimate venues again, which is, I think people are hoping that it might help to sustain smaller venues potentially. But the other thing that's been happening, and people are doing listening gigs. So we went recently to a public service broadcasting a listen to the album, which was at the Old Market in Hove, which is another lovely venue, a community sort of run venue. And Jay Wilgis from the band was in attendance. They'd had done it in a special audio format with 42 speakers or something daft, and so things would move, and you were laying down on beanbags, and different experience, and then a chat with Jay Wilgis afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you see it as changing from your perspective, or is it still, you perhaps you're not in that privileged position to be able to do that at this point? I don't know. I mean, how does it feel in terms of what other ways there are of doing things?
We've got a couple of projects in mind for next year, which would be a similar kind of thing. They were sort of teaming up with visual artists.
Right. Because, the home thing that we did at the Underground Theatre, I think
Notes
Home, which involved Phil, and that's kind of what put me in mind of it. And when you sang about the spoken word pieces and so on, it's a different way of putting on a gig.
It is, yeah. And you're then encouraging a new audience.
Yeah.
You've got the people who want to come along and hear your music, but also other people who want to come along and hear the spoken word.
Yeah, and I think the those kind of events Phil, who were those brilliant actors actually who read out the?
that was
just a couple of local voice artists.
They were quite remarkable.
I'd
weren't
just
I've
like to
used
point
before.
out that there was a slight a slight issue with the link there, saying and on that subject.
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
what
Because
subject
it
would
wasn't
it be?
actually on the subject of cow autopsies.
No, it wasn't.
on the
No, it
subject
was on the
of-
subject of touring, and that's my fault for not checking.
I was
how
just
it
going to
began.
say though that in that piece, Phil mentioned the National Rural Touring Organisation, which is it
Did you
organisation?
say network?
Go on, say it. Go on,
Networking.
say it again, Jason.
National. You say it.
National Rural Touring
Forum.
Network. Forum.
Well, it's
Yes.
the bit too many oars. in
Yeah,
there.
it's really hard to
Rural
say.
Yeah.
Forum and touring. Yeah.
I practiced it.
But those they promote gigs at sort of in within communities. So it would be sort of village halls and
Yep.
places like that. And the sort of shows that tend to get booked are those kind of themed shows.
Yeah.
So if we've tried to get on that, and we don't seem to get gigs just as musicians going
Right.
in there and playing a gig.
Okay.
It seems that you need, a sort of a hook,
Right. Okay.
and something that's going to really, draw people in over
Something
and
a bit-
above. You're
yeah.
saying, we write and play really nice songs.
Yeah, it's something a bit more imaginative.
well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
you did
It's-
your stories in song.
We did,
That was
yes.
a thing that
Yeah,
you
that-
did.
that
And so
works.
Yeah.
that was a hook for that,
and
wasn't
that
it?
initially that was also going to incorporate a sort of a visual element as well. But we
Yeah.
pared that back because it was a lottery funded thing, and we
Sure.
we just couldn't put enough into it for that.
But the point is that by doing those kind of shows, you can put a tour together.
Yeah.
Of a show. I'm
A
doing the
production.
bunny, a themed sort of
Yeah.
performance.
We're taking this on the road as opposed to
Exactly.
just going out and playing songs.
Yeah.
And you can tour that, and you
Yeah.
can get paid.
It becomes a USP.
It's a
and
doesn't
you
show.
it?
can get paid a proper wage for doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can.
By ticketing and also by getting approaching different organisations for funding.
And I guess it maybe comes back to the question that you asked very early on, which is about why are you doing it? I
Yeah,
mean, what's the
exactly.
reason? Is this about
Yeah.
creating some art? Is it about making money? Is it about getting your word out? Is it, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I suppose.
And
And I suppose that's the
that brings it
questions
all
you
into
ask.
one neat package, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Which is the whole thing.
Very
Yeah.
much
But
so.
it's also on that subject, and notice that small cinemas are going down the same kind of route, aren't they? Because they're showing live.
Yeah, National
theatre.
Theatre Live, yeah, that
And
kind
you
of
have
thing.
other events going on. There are the exhibitions, aren't there?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have live art exhibitions
Yeah.
on screen.
Wow.
So it's
And there are
not
people...
just the music industry. It's
No.
that kind of having to have an extra element.
Yeah, the USP. A Music Box Wilderness actually was somebody that occurred to me.
Yeah.
Actually, Noah Luckman and Will, who bring classical music to smaller communities. I think that's their sort of their
Yeah.
USP, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, people are finding different ways to do it.
Hmm.
And something you mentioned actually while we were listening to the interview was about merch as well.
Yes,
about
yeah,
that being
yeah.
another
Yeah.
thing that you can that people do and
Well, it's another
when you
reason for
tour-
going out and playing live.
Yeah.
And by definition, if you're touring, then you're going to be promoting gigs. You're going to be promoting, you're going to be asking people to come out and see you, and then, in the hope that people will want to take a memento away. But that tends to be how it works, rather than, for us, rather than, people. They want a memento of the evening.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much as
absolutely. Go,
anything.
right,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And it was.
And I'd like to support the artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they'll buy a CD or they'll
Yeah.
buy some cards or a T-shirt or
Tying
whatever.
that in with touring, it would be interesting to know. We didn't discuss this with our guests, but the issue of if you're touring in Europe or nationally and taking merch to sell, there will be taxes to pay. There will be something that you have to do to register what you're taking over there and what you're bringing back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
there was a
That's a good
big
point,
thing about
actually.
that post Brexit.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to know other people's experiences of
Yeah.
that. But also, we didn't go into detail about visas.
No.
So work visas and permits.
Yeah,
when
I
you're
think they
going
briefly
abroad.
mention it, don't they?
Yeah, so
back in
again,
that
I would really
interview.
like to hear from people if they've had an experience of that.
Yeah,
And-
definitely.
'cause we've
What's
not
that
looked
process
into
like?
it at all.
Because it's a working visa in theory, isn't
Yeah.
it? Rather than
So I
a
think
travel travel visa, just for pleasure.
That could be something to cover in a future show. And also,
travelling overseas.
We haven't covered the climate impact of touring. So
No.
again, I think that would be something
good
to talk
topic.
about another time.
Yeah, and we're going on a deeper
It's
dive.
a big topic.
Now, let's do this bit right now.
Well, that's good.
I love it. Yeah,
That is-
it almost perfectly reproduces what I was doing with my mouth previously. Yeah, exactly. It's not its debut. It was in the last episode. But it is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's less messy than what you were doing with your mouth.
Mine was, improvised every time, and I can only improvise so much.
So that is the question of the show.
Question
isn't
of the
it?
show, yeah, indeed. So last month you asked about.
I did, yeah, and I got the answers.
I was going to say, last month you asked about did you learn a musical instrument at school?
So I had several replies to that. So Ruth says piano, recorder, and whistle.
Whistle. You should go to school in Ireland.
And yes, she still plays those. She also learned cello and guitar, and then no, she can't play those anymore due to arthritis.
Oh.
Jane learned piano. David learned piano and occasionally plays when accompanying Tina when she plays the Appalachian Mountain Dulcimer.
Oh, did Tina buy one of
Yeah.
Ron's instruments? Oh,
Yeah, these are David and Tina are
regular
Regular,
Bluebell Roots
yes.
guests.
Bluebell Roots,
Yeah.
April Moon's Jamie learned trumpet, piano, and recorder at school.
Wow.
Jason learned sax and drums.
Oh my
Everybody
goodness.
does a recorder at school, don't they?
Well, I taught recorder when I was an infant
you
school
had lessons
teacher.
where you had a bit of recorder in it, but no, I didn't have recorder lessons.
Did you not? No, well, I used to do recorder. We would do it to start with. The whole class would have
Very
recorder.
maligned
Yeah.
instrument, isn't it?
It is, but
It
it's
is,
played well.
yes.
It's a very good instrument as well.
Yeah. Jade learned piano at school and still plays a bit, but Jim could teach her guitar if he likes.
Oh, is that right, Jade? Right. You're pulling in your local connections
Yeah.
there, Jade, aren't
I
you?
had a birthday card from Jade yesterday.
Aw.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh, yes.
well. We'll talk about it more in the
Yeah.
episode that's got the right kind of an episode behind. But Jade just recently celebrated a really great birthday, so happy birthday, Jade!
Yes.
Anon learned recorder and didn't keep it up after school, and Dawn also learned recorder. So those were our
There's a lot of
responses.
recorders
There is a lot of
Yeah.
recorder.
I think we should bring that back to Bluebell Roots and get a recorder ensemble.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
have
that'd be good,
a
wouldn't it?
recorder,
To,
a
London Bridges
recorder choir.
burning
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
Preferably outside the door.
Yeah, somewhere, and we hand out ear defenders. Just to make sure it's not a kids' recorder orchestra.
Yeah.
Excellent. All
And
right.
so the new question of this show, relating it to touring, is what's the furthest you've ever travelled for a gig? So it's either to go to a gig, where did you go and who did you see, or to play a gig.
I
Where
bet
did you
you've
go?
been somewhere.
I've seen gigs as far away as Boston, but I didn't specifically travel to Boston to go to that gig.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
However, that is the furthest.
What's the furthest would you?
To
Is
be,
that
I did. I mean,
UK, Boston?
not what Lincolnshire. No, Boston, as in Boston, Massachusetts. We were in Boston on holiday. We went in a record shop, saw that Jaime Cullum was playing, and he was playing at the Paradiso or Paradise. So anyway, some club uptown in Boston. We went along. It was all sold out, and we got to see Jaime Cullum play.
Oh, that's cool.
For $10 by slipping a tenner to the security guard on the door. I also sort of accidentally had saw a gig in Spain. We were staying in Madrid, and there was a gig at a little club around the back. Kate. Oh no. Oh, the name's gone. Anyway, Welsh artist, indie sort of artist who happened to be playing there. And I was like, oh, gosh, wow, that's interesting. And it was €6 or something stupid. It was and I stood on the stage. The stage was just like 2 steps up and there were people standing on one end of it. And so I stood up there. It was very,
Okay, I thought you were doing like a Bears or something.
No, not anything like that. No. No, how about you?
Furthest I've travelled specifically to see a gig, it's not that far. Milton Keynes. Went to see, it was a Genesis reunion for Six of the Best.
Oh, that's right. With Peter Gabriel came back and sang with them, didn't he? Yeah, and Steve Hackett. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Talk got bottled on
Oh
stage.
no, really?
Yeah,
A great band, Talk.
Not for a
But they're
rainy,
not Genesis fans.
Not a
are they?
rainy day in Milton Keynes.
No.
It wasn't a great band.
Yeah,
I
perhaps
have
not.
to say.
Good title for a song.
How about you, Joe? Yeah.
It'll be London.
And then that's generally it for me.
Yeah.
Specifically travelling to a gig, it's London. I have been to Birmingham for gigs, but then I've stayed with friends kind of on the way. Saw Supertramp in Birmingham.
I think the last one we saw in London was Grace Petrie, wasn't it?
But this is rubbish, isn't it? People have gone a lot further to see gigs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
we're rank
hearing-
amateurs.
I mean, it works out if you're going to see a big band, it can actually be cost effective to go and see them in Spain or somewhere, can't it? Competitive to compared to the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, ticket prices are ridiculous for big bands, aren't they? So let us know, please. Get on the Bluebell Notes social media. Or
are we counting festivals in this? Because I'd say not festivals.
No,
It's gotta be
probably
specific
not.
to see an act.
Yeah, just one specific gig, as it were.
People go all over the place for festivals,
they do.
don't they?
Indeed. Right, okay, so let us know just what that is going to be. The Offbeat episode, we're going to hear more from April Moon, and we'll have a track from Dandelion Charm from the same Bluebell Roots as well. And then next episode, we recorded an interview with Rob Corcoran, didn't we? Who was at our last Bluebell Roots. What a brilliant artist. That is well worth tuning in for. He's very funny and just great songs.
Yeah, totally charming as well.
Yeah.
Wonderfully charming, and accompanied by the brilliant Roger Askew as well.
Yeah.
I
looked into more about Roger Askew. We should talk about that in that. He's worked with some people, hasn't he?
He has,
yeah. There's a Christy Moore link specifically.
Yeah, it's
which
a really
is
good
a
interview,
really
that
good
one as well,
chat
with
about
both of
that.
them, actually.
Yeah. So we should plug that, definitely. And the next Bluebell Roots gig is on November. Have you got a thingy? I'll open my calendar. Which
November
is
the 3rd, I think.
Joe. Yeah, right. Possibly
6th.
Let's have a look.
3rd.
Second.
4th. 2nd.
November the 2nd. Well done.
One day out.
You don't get a free radio. Then that's featuring Chris Cleverly.
Yeah, that's quite a coup.
I think it is a coup.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And Chris will probably have a thing or two to say about touring, actually, because this is part of an EP launch tour.
Okay.
And he's going to be touring in his van.
Yeah.
He's going to sleep in his van, apparently.
Lovely.
It's part of a quite a tour that he's doing.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading, or however you've got it. We're available on all the major platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and wherever else you get your podcasts.
And thank you again to our sponsor, Long Way Home Productions.
Indeed. We'll see you for the next one.
Adios.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Bluebell Notes podcast was brought to you courtesy of Long Way Home Productions. At your place or ours, together we'll make your music really shine.